and how they relate to spirituality. So, a lot of us understand that some drugs are psychoactive or psychedelic in nature and change how we see the world. However, I'm going to propose to you a different viewpoint on what drugs actually do. First of all, from my understanding of being a drug user, not a drug abuser or a drug addict, because an addict depends on the drugs. I am able to use the drugs and use them for what they are to a degree, right? So whenever you use certain drugs, let's talk about marijuana for a second. What it does is supposed to do something to your body. So for example, it relaxes you. It makes you chill. It doesn't get you high because being high is a state of being with the most high. But we think we're high because we get so relaxed that our cerebrospinal fluid can travel to the top of our head sometimes, depending on how relaxed we are. So if you ever done some drugs, for example, the drug like mushrooms, right? Mushrooms are psychedelic and DMT, right? You start seeing images, the world around you changes, but that's because a part of your brain, which is part of your body, gets so relaxed that you're able to see the world for what it is. Basically, an illusion that you can shape however you want. So with that being said, to me, when I take drugs, I'm no longer getting high, or it's no longer affecting me the same way because I understand that there's a force inside me that actually changes the reality and not the drugs. The drugs are for the body. Everything else that happens is in the spirit. So let's take ayahuasca for example. When I did ayahuasca and not and we had the DMT, I felt this force coming upwards, and what that was the Kundalini energy coming through the centers. Because now, what the drug it is trying to disconnect you from the physical reality. So the more you get disconnected, the more this Kundalini energy can go upwards. Hello, how's it going? It's always interesting seeing people. But yeah, we're talking about drugs here and how they relate to spirituality and what they do. Basically, I'm saying that drugs don't give you, let's say, for example, the drugs don't make you do certain things. The thing that makes you, everything that happens is for you. But the drugs, what they do is for the body to calm them down. And then you have this energy, which is the Kundalini energy going through the centers. And as it goes through the centers, your realities get shifted. Because as the Kundalini is rising upwards, yes, I'm talking about Kundalini, woohoo stuff, ooh, it pierces through those chakra or energy centers and is purifying them. So while it's getting purified, you might get distorted images of reality or paranoia because you're opening yourself up from the physical reality. So that's why whenever you smoke a lot of weed, you don't get high anymore. You need more weed. That's because your body has gotten used to that kind of weed or that kind of amount of weed. So you have to get more in order to relax your body enough for the force to come. And that's the problem with the drugs. The more that you do it, the less effective they become. But if you're doing it from time to time and you set the intention of, okay, I'm going to use this for spiritual purposes, what you're doing is allowing yourself to raise that energy upwards to the head. Once you raise the energy here, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. But most people, they do drugs and their energy stays below here. But they get relaxation of the body so they feel good, you know. Even when you drink alcohol, even alcohol to a degree, like if you're drinking a little bit of wine, you know, it might relax you enough that you could go to sleep and maybe have an astral projection. But you can't drink too much of it because a lot of alcohol damages, I believe, your spirit body. So basically, what have I said before? Because there's some people here. Drugs can be used for spiritual purposes. The thing is, we don't really know about them. The whole thing has to do with your energy centers. The drugs relax your body so you can disconnect from this physical reality and allow the energy to go upwards. But this process has already happened whether you do drugs or not. The drugs is just a way to introduce you to that or to work through some traumas. So when people do ayahuasca or shrooms, that really disconnects you. And specifically with shrooms, you're able to tap into the mycelium network of the earth, which the plants and the shrooms are connected. And that's how plants can communicate with each other and the shrooms too. They have done a study of shrooms actually talking to one another, and they have translated. I think it was some computer scientists that did it. You can look this up because we always relate everything to science so people can understand that this is not just some, that spirituality is not just something that's way out there. Spirituality is happening right now. All right. So that's basically the premise. Let me see what people are saying. Make me a moderator. Have been subscribed for 5 months. I don't think I need a moderator right now. Emily says, hey, yeah, drugs are not good. That's right. Well, I'm not saying they're not good. I'm saying that the way that we use them may not be as optimal as they could be used for. Because if you understand what I said earlier, that the drugs relax your body enough for the Kundalini energy to rise over your energy centers and purify them, you understand that you can use it to that. That's why some people might do certain drugs and they get psychotic. Psychosis and all that shit just means that you open up too fast your energy centers and now you're out of balance and you're getting too much from everything and you don't know how to regulate your own reality. So that's why in a lot of practices, they don't want you to use drugs because most people are not ready for that. But other cultures, they heavily use drugs. Like shamans, shamans are all about them drugs. They're always high. Them niggas are smoking, weed, smoking, nicotine. Tobacco is so misunderstood in the West. Nicotine is not exactly the good thing. The tobacco leaf has properties that are similar to ayahuasca because ayahuasca and tobacco are related. Ayahuasca is the mother of tobacco. According to the people, the indigenous people that, you know, they do this shit. There's actually a book called The Cosmic Serpent that talks about this. You guys should read it. Only no. We don't call anybody weirdos here. Biggest complainer. we don't call any, we don't call anybody weirdos, but it's interesting. There was like about 23 people that came in and then just left. That's interesting to me how I think it's because this thing, it just shows everybody the life and people just tune in and shit. Drug talk. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this video too long because sometimes I get carried away. I think I said everything. If anybody is interested, they're probably going to rewatch it. But drugs are a way to raise your Kundalini energy. That's why when you but here's the thing: when your Kundalini is active, and it's always active, but like when you can feel it. I mean, not everybody can feel their Kundalini energy. You know, when you're meditating or your body moves weird, when you're meditating or you're still, that's because you have a blockage in that center. So it's called, I think in the Hindus call it a spontaneous kriyas. Kriya is just a body movement. So when you're having these body movements, these weird body movements, it's because you have a blockage that's manifested in the physical. And sometimes these blockages, although they appear physical, if somebody were to open that part of you, there's nothing there because it's happening in the energy center. But because we're in tune, we're so fixated in our physical body, it gets manifested as a physical blockage. But you can work through that blockage without drugs. All right, I'm gonna stop it at 10 minutes. I think I said enough. I don't want to make this too complicated. But shout out to the people that commented. I don't know how these comments are viewed after. I know sometimes I can see them, sometimes I can't. Yeah, that's about it. Whoever's watching now, thank you for watching. I might do another live about some weird shit later. I think I like the lives because I could see people reacting in real time. But that's about it. You guys have a good one. That was Drug Talk. Very